GM everyone! Let's talk today about new ERC standard 4337 or so-called account abstraction. This is a really amazing functionality and it can push probably the mass adoption and make it even easier. And by the way, the security will be increased by that standard, and there are so many new functionalities and features which will be implemented and are already implemented in that standard. So it's really great improvement of the Ethereum blockchain. What is actually this standard? This standard is turning the standard, more or less, user wallets into the contract-based wallets. Let me explain you this shortly. There are actually two types of accounts on the Ethereum blockchain. One of them is created or so-called external owned accounts. These accounts are actually what you know from your MetaMask or other wallets which are similar. And for that account, you need a private key in order to sign the transaction, and you need a public key in order to receive cryptos. There is another type of the accounts called contract accounts. Contract accounts are actually smart contracts which don't need any kind of private keys in order to initiate transactions. Now the new standard, ERC-4337, is actually merging those two accounts in the new one, which is actually smart contract based, and it's more or less an additional layer on top of the Ethereum network. So there are almost no changes. There are actually no changes on the underneath or program level of the Ethereum blockchain. How is it working actually? Very simple. There is a smart contract called entry point, which is actually used to manage the transactions. It's done like this. If you create any kind of transaction, or whoever can create a transaction, it's sent to so-called mempool, which is different than usual one which we have. So it's a new one created by the ERC-4337 standard. This is like a waiting room for the transactions. Some of the nodes on the blockchain are working like bundlers. They are taking those transactions and they are bundling them and packaging them in the special transaction bundle. Similar like if we are talking about mining concept, and regarding gas fees and so on, the concept is very similar. Those transactions which are bundled are then sent to the smart contract called entry point. This smart contract is now implementing all those functionalities and features like verification or validation, of course, payment of the gas fees and all these kind of things. And as you know, the smart contracts don't need a private keys to do this kind of initialization of the transactions. So this means the verification and validation can be implemented on a totally different way and can be included in this kind of smart contracts. This is absolute great way to improve, let's say, the transaction handling. After this smart contract is actually doing all this kind of verification and stuff that we want to do, the real transaction is issued and sent on the mempool of the blockchain for the mining and to be added on the blockchain. Having this layer in between of the blockchain and the issue of transactions, actually, it's really smart, because you can now do lots of different things before you write the transaction immutable on the blockchain. This is really great. I hope you enjoyed this small session. See you next time again. Bye.